Mr. Senator, would you get back to us within 30 days?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll look into that, and then, so moving on to the capital projects fund, this is money that we received in interest / expenditures at the door. Any questions regarding this? Food service, it's the same things that we've been discussing all year. Our sales are down, but you do see a savings down in the expenditure line items, where from the move of employees from the district to Airmark, but you also see a negative variance for the management fees, as we expected. Any questions regarding food service? And moving on to child development, again, our revenue is down a little bit because of our staffing laws. We're in transition, so because of our enrollment numbers, the ratio of students to staff, we couldn't maximize the number of spots in our classrooms, creating the variance in revenue. But you see the savings down below in the salaries. Any questions regarding child development? Okay, so we'll move on to the treasurer's report. Again, this is cash received, cash out the door. And for the general fund, we are up about $7 million as compared to this time last year. Capital projects were below. As we know, we had to spend that amount of money down. Food service, we're up about $125,000 as compared to last year. And child development, we're up about $55,000 as compared to last year. Any questions regarding the treasurers? That wraps up the financial reports.
Thank you, Mr. Russell. I'll take a motion to accept the financial report and the treasurer's report.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Moving on to finance, Mr. Kabilka.
Thank you, Mr. President. 8.01 is a bid tabulation for a 12 by 22-foot precast post tension concrete restroom building to be used in our new David Hanlon Sports Complex. The low bid is $68,550 from Norwalk Concrete Industries. Mr. DePlacido and I, along with Mr. Delfrat, looked at it, and I think we got quite a bargain on that for what it is. It's going to be a very nice looking restroom that will be set in place. So I'm very happy with what Tom was able to find on that. 8.02 is a Mill Creek Education Foundation grant. We have quite a few here this evening, so if you bear with me, I just want to announce them. 802 is an artifact digging equipment for $625. 803 is an Autism Society grant for $500. 804 is from the Mill Creek Foundation for a cardio drum grant, which is $1,397. 805 is a grant for a national conference trip, which is $1,440. 806 is another Mill Creek Education Foundation grant for a chick incubator, which is $125. 807 is a grant for the after graduation party of $1,000. 808, another grant from our Mill Creek Education Foundation for a national conference, which is $1,440. 809 is another Mill Creek Education grant. Scroll down here. For a national conference trip, $1,440. 810, a grant for a ukulele music program, $986. 811 is a grant for snowshoe purchase of $2,000. And then our last one, I'm going to jump ahead to 815, which is a grant for theater lighting, which is for $1,500. So you can see we have something approaching $10,000 from the Mill Creek Education Foundation, and that's very much appreciated. Going to 8.12, that's the disposal of IT equipment. 8.13 is a letter of agreement for Title I services. 8.14 is our student activities accounts for March of 2016. And then 8.16 is capital projects. And then 8.17 is accounts payable report for March of 2016. So I'd like to bring 801 through 815 forward for a motion.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
I'm just going to bring 816 by itself for capital project in case anybody has any questions. I'd like a motion on that.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
And then my last one would be 8.17, which is the accounts payable report for March of 2016. I'd like a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Opposed?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. Moving on to 9.01, technology lease. Possible, isn't it?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Placido. I'm going to defer to Mr. O'Toole. We did have something come up in the last week or so regarding some clarification on the technology lease, which has already been approved, but I'm going to let Aaron take it.
This is our closing documentation. So with this resolution approval, we will close on this lease. I don't recall what page it was, but it's for just over $900,000. It was $902,000 at about 1.5% interest. Any questions regarding this lease? It does replace it for K through 8, where we're getting roughly 2,200 Chromebooks, 300 iPads, some other computers as well as a server. It really does refresh our equipment K through 8.
Mr. O'Toole, was it bidded out?
We went out and reached out for a number of quotes for both the purchase of the item, the hardware itself, as well as the financing of it. This, wasn't, as I mentioned when we approved it the last time, for the rough rate, because we couldn't commit to that rate, this wasn't the cheapest alternative, but it is the one that gives a dollar buyout at the end. I think that we're paying roughly $8,000 more in interest, roughly, but they wanted the equipment afterwards, the other company. So between the two, at least PNC was the best option.
What was the difference between, say, the high and low bid? And the difference in the, what you mentioned as quality or the buyback, what was the difference? Are we talking a couple of $1,000s, or are we talking 5, 10, 15?
No, you're talking probably, in terms of price between the high and the low, you're probably right around $20,000 from PNC, if I recall correctly. But a lot of the other companies, like I said, some of them, their philosophy is that they want the equipment back to try to refurb, whereas for here, it was a dollar buyout at the end. I can't recall off the top of my head. I think we had 8 quotes, maybe not quite 8, 6 for financing, and it was narrowed down between the two, which was, one was a little bit cheaper, but you return the equipment at the end, or this one, which was second cheapest, and you had a dollar buyout.
Is this a 3-year or 4-year?
40.
And
There's
Tom,
a no.
you were an expert, and now are an expert somewhat in IT. What do you think the life on this stuff is? 5 or 6 probably?
You can squeeze probably 8 years out of equipment with the buyout. And when you get into the buyout, it's going to be dependent upon the wear and tear of the machines at the end. I would think that they could probably salvage between 50 and 60% of the machines.
Awesome. Do we have to take any insurance out on this at all, or are we self-insured on
Our-
something like this?
Our insurance policy that we currently have covers these.
And there's probably a $10,000 deductible or something, like if we lost half of the equipment or it got,
We
broken
would
or
have to
something.
replace that equipment. That's part of the language as you read through there.
Yep.
You would have to replace that equipment with like kind.
With a rolling, that, so that the value first year would have to be 100%, second year 75, third year 50, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, it seems very good to get that for a